Excuse me. Good morning. My name is Ann. I have a frog this morning. My name is Ann Harrington, and I am on the board of trustees. I'm an archives person. I'm on the welcome team. Uh, I'm on the pastoral care team, just a little bit of everything, but I welcome you here this morning to our service in whatever capacity. Unitarian Universalism encourages an open-ended search for meaning in life and a commitment to asking our values to shape our actions. We are a pluralistic religion that draws wisdom from many sources. We welcome all people into our beloved community of whatever age, race, class, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or religious background. We especially welcome those of you who may be worshiping with us for the first time. We invite you to join us after service downstairs for coffee and snacks so that we can get to know you better. Guests are welcome to participate in any activities in our community. If you would like more information about the congregation, or if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask any member. Reverend J, thank you for your presence here today, whether in person or online. Enjoy the service.
Good morning. I'm Alice Martin with the Board of Trustees as well. So just a quick update on our interim search. I can honestly say it has been an up and down journey since Reverend Jay announced his moving to a new ministry. It's the intensity of interviewing and preparing for the interim minister is like, yeah, we got that done, and then you wait and wait, and then you find out, wait, no one accepted us. It's like, what? And then calling UUA and trying to find out their plans for those congregations like ourselves that won't have an interim, and then it's like, what? You don't know either? So, it's just like, woo, 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 woo. So here we are. It's been a unique year. But amidst this roller coaster, a gift appeared last week. An anonymous family contacted the board and has offered to match a dollar for dollar fundraising Money contributed up to $5,000 by members and friends of this congregation, they will match, bottoming out at $10,000. What a gift. So the money has been earmarked toward increasing the pay of our staff that has not had such an increase for a few years. There's going to be extra expenses incurred in this transition time without an interim minister by contracting ministers for special needs we may have, whether it's a service on a Sunday or phone calls to kind of monitor our progress, and overall for the growth of our community. So we are calling it UU Community Growth Match. We were really tired. We weren't being very creative, so we just went with that. So basically, every dollar a member or friend donates to this fund, this family will match the dollar. So up to maxed out at 5,000, of which we contribute to the fund, then they will match whatever amount we raise, hopefully 5,000, to max it all out at $10,000. The board gratefully accepted that offer, and we are now going to unwrap the gift. The period of giving begins today through the month of June, ending thus on June 30th. Whatever has been donated by us into this fund by the 30th of June will be the amount the family matches. You may donate however it is that's convenient for you. Send a check into the office, put it in the offering plate. Whatever you do, make sure you mark it that it is for the Growth Match Fund or UU Community Growth, just so that we make sure it's set aside in a special fund and will be used for all of what we intend to use it for. We are thinking of ways to keep the congregation aware of the donations received. You know, you've seen those thermometers or maybe a chart that just keeps going up like this and then boom, and then we're there. So keep looking in the newsletter or other spotlights and we'll keep you informed. This is such a generous offer, and it shows a firm belief in this community, and it's that which is going to carry us through. So a deep gratitude to this family and to all, not necessarily that always give with money, but as well as the time and the effort it takes for all of us to join together now to keep this place thriving and growing. So there is one other way to donate that's been set up on Realm, which will direct the money into a special fund. Now, I may have several strengths, but I also have several weaknesses. This is one of them. So Reverend Jay is going to finish this off.
Okay, so if you have the Realm Connect app, there's a button on the bottom that says Giving, and if you hit that, it will come up with a screen that will show, and you have a drop-down menu, and you can choose a community growth campaign as well. If you go to our website, you use CQC, where it says Donate via Realm, you can choose one of the many funds there. But there is now one for this community growth campaign, I believe is how I worded it on there. So as well, we do have PayPal. So if you just hit the regular donate button and you want to pay through PayPal, because you have that on your phone, you can do that. We just ask you put in the description what it is for. If you want to bring a large bag of cash as well, just make sure you have a note and drop it in the safe, and so we know where it's from. So we thank you for your generosity in helping to keep this congregation be a thriving congregation. Our opening words today are from the Reverend Gretchen Haley. Come to be blessed. Okay, but first, I don't know. I didn't put that pop-up blocker up. Okay. Blessed today. Bless today your hesitancy, your shy shrug, your behind the scenes skepticism, your sweet stoicism. Bless your boredom and your anxieties, those worries that will not quiet no matter how many mantras or metas or meditating moments that you take. Bless your impatience and your butterflies, your brash tone and your desire to talk to no one, to care about nothing, to be invisible and invincible, to be already perfect and with ease, of course. Bless your shame, your self doubt, your inner critic, and your coping techniques, all of them, whatever they may be. Bless most of all your broken heart and all the longings that made it so. Bless your grief, your anger, and your still pressing hope. All of these we bless, all of ourselves we bless. In this gathering made holy by our wholeness, this community made sacred by our scars, come to be blessed and come to be a blessing. Come, let us worship together, starting with the lighting of our chalice, and please join us in the words that are up on the screen. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to inspire. We're going to begin with our opening hymn, number 346. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song above and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song above and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song above and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song above and a rose in the winter time.
Good morning, friends. If you want to come up and join me, you're very welcome. Come on up, kiddos. And before we start our Words for All Ages, I just wanted to say briefly, today is our last day of the junior high OWL classes. They're starting their last day right now, our teenagers. There are 13 12 to 14-year-olds in our congregation that have gone through 25 weeks of 90-minute workshops for our junior high owl class, and this is their last one. So hopefully more on that later, and they will be able to share with you some of their experiences in a service coming up in the new months. But I wanted to let you all know that they've been doing that very hard work, and I'm just so proud of them. All right. Good morning, friends. Good morning. So we're gonna move our bodies a little bit. So if you want to stand up, you wanna, and grown-ups can too, if you want. So we're gonna do a little body blessing. So I'm gonna read some words, and it's kind of like a poem, and we're gonna do it a couple of times and just change some of the words. And I want you, with me, we can sort of feel how our bodies might feel some of the words. Okay. So I'm gonna start with my feet really firm on the ground. And I'm going to say, love, you are strong as a mountain. How does a mountain feel? Maybe wide legs. Love, you are strong as a mountain. Love, you are quiet as a deep ocean. How would it feel to be the deep ocean? Love, you are changing like a river. Love, you are nourishing as a light rain. Love, you are bright like the sun. Maybe you can feel it on your face. All right. So we're going to do it one more time and change the words, and you can put your hand on your chest. We're going to say I. So I am strong as a mountain. Maybe feel it again. I am quiet as a deep ocean. I am changing like a river. I am nourishing as a gentle rain. And I am bright as the sun. You can end with your hand on your chest. We can say, let's take a deep breath and we'll do our I am. And when you breathe out, you can think worthy. Okay? So I am, breathe in deep. Worthy. Breathe out. Thank you, friends. All right. You want to follow me out downstairs? Thank you, everybody.
May the spirit of love surround you everywhere you may go. So good morning, I'm Reverend Jay Wolin. It is great to be with you here. You know, we don't often use the word blessing in our congregation, at least in that form, but for me, blessings are a way of being grateful, and we do talk about being grateful often, and to intentionally think about our existence and all that we do have in the world, And this is just another way of saying that we are blessed to have what we have and to have life. Growing up in the Jewish faith, there were many, many blessings that we would chant and repeat during every service every week. And because of its repetitive nature, I can actually still remember some of them by memory today, even though it's been 40 years since I've consistently practiced in a temple. It's sometimes strange when I go back into a temple, periodically, whether it's a family event or just to reminisce, for a service at the temple. And the blessing sometimes has been slightly changed, or the chant has been changed. And sometimes I feel like a little chagrined, like, why did they change that? And I don't know why I'm so surprised. Like, I would expect something to stay static for 40 years without any change, right? This craving for certainty, especially in religion, is common, and certainly certainty gives us comfort. There's no doubt. Yet we know there is no certainty in our day-to-day lives. Unitarian Universalism embraces uncertainty, understanding that revelation is ongoing in our search for truth and meaning in our lives and in the world. Still, it is good to have a container of certainty within which to explore the changing nature of things, our lives, the world. And that is why I use the same opening and closing chalice lighting words every week, in case you wondered, to provide a little bit of certainty amidst the uncertainty as to what will happen in this service, which is just a microcosm for our life, right? To create a container to begin and end in a comfortable knowing that no matter what else is going to happen, we know this much is certain, that when I am leading a service, that the closing and opening words will be what they are every single week. Now, 3 weeks after I am gone, it may be otherwise, and that is also nothing good or bad. It's just change. There are, for lack of a better phrase, I would call them our covenant, our blessing to each other that we share with each other every week. It can be a touchstone if we choose to use them as one. And I am obviously a fan of having some certainty amidst the uncertainty. And this really is the point of rituals in general, like lighting the chalice, right? In the Jewish tradition, there are blessings for almost everything. More religious Jews are asked actually to recite 100 blessings every day. There are blessings for waking up, for washing, for eating, for drinking, for going to bed, for seeing a rainbow, for hearing thunder, at seeing an ocean. And yes, and this is absolutely true, there is even a blessing for after you go to the bathroom. It's true. Although I have to admit, I did not know this growing up. Actually, for most of my life, I didn't know this, but perhaps somehow it did seep into my soul via my DNA unconsciously, because it is true. After eating one too many bagels, I do thank God profusely when I go to the bathroom. So why all the blessings? So why? First, it is an intentional gratitude practice, right? It is a recognition to be grateful for what we do have in the world, to recognize that not everyone gets up in the morning. Not everyone has food to eat. Not everyone has clean water to drink or bathe in. Secondly, blessings are a recognition that our existence and what we do is often due to things beyond our control. And whether that is genetically or environmental good or bad luck as to which family you were born into or raised in, or the astronomical high chance that we even exist in this form at all, or even the fact that our earth is habitable and provides nourishment for us. We just sort of take this for granted, and saying a blessing for it reminds us that we should not take it for granted. Even 3D created states, which I thought was mind boggling just to think about, but even that required resources from the earth to create. What blessings ask us to do is to be in awe of the world around us. When we recognize the beauty of nature, when we recognize the mystery that pervades our existence, if we recognize it in the world, we can recognize it in ourselves, and we can recognize it in each person that we connect with, every single person. In the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 2, it says, I will bless you so that you will be a blessing. End quote. When we are a blessing to others, when others feel welcomed and loved, it adds to love in the world. Love becomes a force multiplier. And this is why having a blessing or a gratitude practice is so important. When things are going well, maybe it can seem tedious to do this every day. But when things are not going well, when we are at our bleakest moments, right, it's hard to just create something out of nothing in the moment, right? But if you have a practice that can give you comfort when you are uncomfortable, you have a touchstone, and that becomes a natural source of comfort, not something you just have to find in the moment. It is the way you go through the world, feeling comfortable, feeling blessed, and being a blessing to others. Often a gratitude practice can let us see things more easily as they are, instead of sometimes these wild scenarios that we often imagine about what other people are thinking. I often think about the story of Jacob and Esau in the Bible, in the Hebrew scriptures. Now, first, we need to recognize the motif of many of those early Hebrew scripture stories where God's blessings are handed down generationally from parent to child. And in most cases, the blessing does not end up with the oldest child. In fact, it almost always ends up with the younger, and in most cases, the youngest child. Many theologians posit it is as these stories are to show God's preference for the oppressed. Being the youngest child of three, I can absolutely relate to that. And I always point this out to my older siblings, that the youngest child gets the blessing. But as Jewish people have been enslaved, exiled, and oppressed throughout history, these stories tell them that even despite their suffering, they are blessed. And that gives them hope in the future, even through their time of suffering. In the story of Jacob and Esau, Jacob actually deceives his father Isaac to steal the blessing from his oldest son Esau, his older brother Esau. And fearing for his life, Jacob leaves his homeland. And upon his impending return 20 years later, Jacob is fearful that Esau is going to kill him. So he brings goods to bribe Esau, and upon meeting Esau, he prostrates himself, begging for forgiveness. But Esau rejects the gifts, indicating that he had forgiven Jacob a long time ago and that he has had great fortune himself over the 20 years. So Jacob spent 20 years needlessly fearing Esau, imagining the worst case scenario, needlessly worrying, needlessly self-exiled. The story tells us that there are enough blessings for everyone, for everyone. It is sort of our fear and self recrimination, our little puritanical nature that often separate us from our blessing, separating us from our wholeness, separating us from love. Esau did not become obsessed with the past wrong, seeking vengeance, but instead invited an opportunity for a new relationship. Esau shows us that offering blessings of forgiveness, offering blessings of love despite having been harmed, are an act of generosity. So let us all feel blessed in such a way. Let us all feel loved. And let us be a blessing to others. And with those loving thoughts of generosity and blessing others, we will now take our offering, 50% of which will be shared with Argro House, which offers free services for women in the community healing from violence and abuse. So please be as generous as you can. There is a great need for that. We also invite you, if you'd like, to come up to light a candle to mark a joy or sorrow in your personal life. And as well, for those who are online, we invite you to write a joy or sorrow in the chat if you'd like it read out loud from the pulpit after a musical interlude. Let this sacred time begin. Each of us has joys and sorrows, some of which we notate by lighting a candle, others we keep in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, and others we write in the book of joys and sorrows to share with those in our community. And we have a few today, and I believe online as well. So Joy's, Susan Perry's Joy is at the Chamber Music Quad Cities is presenting a memorial concert in the honor of Connie Sawyer Adams, a former member here. It is at 3 p.m. at Trinity Episcopal Cathedral. Alice Trailer has a joy to see unexpected events, a gaggle of geese strolling down Easton Avenue this morning. That is always a joy. It's like I know spring is finally here when I see the first geese appear. Karen Van Ettinger, feels a blessing today that I'm finally going to get my dental issues taken care of. Always an important thing. And Anne Marie, I am grateful for the emotional support Daryl and I receive from our family and friends. Also, always something to be grateful for. There are sorrows as well listed today. Elaine Cressy, her AAUW friend, lost her niece in the Ames shooting this week. And Lucia Amen, on Thursday in Texas, an escaped convict killed her cousin Mark and 4 other cousins, including 3 of his grandchildren. You know, we talk about violence and gun violence often in an abstract way, but if you have to experience it and if it affects you personally, there's no abstraction. This affects all of us and people we know every day. There have already been 5 mass shootings since the Uvalde, Texas incident. And so let us pray for peace, but let us also pray that that we as a country can do the hard things we need to do to make the changes we need to reduce violence. So let us now take a moment of silence to just ponder all the joys and sorrows that are in our lives. Bring us out of the silence with a poem by Mary Oliver, Invitation. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day for the goldfinches that have gathered in the fields of thistles, for a musical battle to see who can sing the highest note or the lowest or the most expressive of mirth or the most tender. Their strong, blunt beaks drink the air as they strive melodiously, not for your sake and not for mine, and not for the sake of winning, but for the sheer delight and gratitude. Believe us, they say. It is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world. I beg of you, do not walk by without pausing to attend to this rather ridiculous performance. It could mean something. It could mean everything. It could be what Rilke meant when he wrote, "You must change your life."
You can whistle too if you want. Here's a little song worry life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. The landlord say your rent is late. You may have to litigate, but don't worry, be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. Don't worry, be happy. Here, take my phone number, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style. Ain't got no gal to make you smile. Don't worry, be happy. Cause when you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. So don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. You can sing with me, be happy. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. David Baxter, right? All right. David Baxter. Let's give him a hand. So there's a lot of inspirational literature out there about how focusing on our everyday blessings helps us be satisfied in our lives. And I think sometimes these fall into the realm of trying to placate people sometimes about their oppression and lack of equity in the world. It's a fine, fine fence to walk, actually. But I compare that sentiment with sort of a blessing that the Unitarian minister, Reverend Forrest Church, gave, which was want what you have, do what you can, and be who you are. So, wanting what you have to me is different than being satisfied with your lot in life, honestly. Being satisfied seems to be like an acquiescence to the inevitable. And the truth is, nothing is inevitable. We just do not know how the future will work out today. It is the striving and wanting a specific certain outcome that causes suffering when that specific outcome doesn't happen in the way we imagine it. Life, even congregational life, does not always happen in the way we imagine it or hope. So I know there are many, as we heard Alice's speech this morning, who are disappointed that the congregation did not find an interim minister. Now, you can be down about that, and that is natural because you did not get your expected outcome. But it doesn't need to cause suffering, right? So you can also recognize that there are certain aspects of this process that are out of your control, right? How many ministers have left ministry? How many ministers went into nonprofit work? A small number of ministers in search this year. That is all true. But there are also things that you can do to put the congregation in a position to work towards this goal in the future when circumstances may be different. Right? There are things you can't change. And so there's nothing to worry or to think about or to suffer about. But there are things that can happen. Or we also have to maybe recognize that maybe the long term landscape of ministry is so changed that the congregation must change and find a new strategy to make meaning in our unique, beautiful way. But to Forest Church's second line of his blessing, we can do what we can to improve our lives, to bring religious meaning to our lives, to help those around us to do the same, and to bring equity into this world and into our lives as well. We can do what we can to become what we imagine ourselves to be: a welcoming religion, a loving religion, a meaning making religion, a justice seeking religion. And I encourage you to spend time this upcoming year reflecting on who you want to be and how you want to be in the world. The third line of the blessing is be who you are. Now, if you're able to be who you are without pretense, without calculation, you will feel whole. I know I felt that way the minute I decided to go into ministry. I felt this wholeness, and it changed everything about me and my interactions with people. But even for myself, with all of my privileges, when I worked in the business world, before I started this journey, I often felt I had to compromise myself to try and move ahead. And even as a minister, I often find I have to couch my words sometimes so as not to intentionally offend anyone. I know sometimes people don't feel that way about me, but I really don't. It's why I use the phrase I did about eating bagels earlier instead of a word that I thought might offend people, right? But that is also who I am, right? Someone who does not want to intentionally offend anyone, but still wants to encourage change, right? To push people right beyond the boundaries of their comfort zones, because that is the only way to grow. And I, like any human being, am fallible. And so perhaps I still offended someone with my bagel story, or perhaps in my desire not to offend, I was too vague to get my point across. Um, but I will not always live up to my best self, and I always rely on your blessings of forgiveness. I am who I am. I am constantly changing with every experience I have, and what I am is someone who wants to share the beauty, the uniqueness, the openness of Unitarian Universalism with others. Being at Pride Fest this weekend is always a good reminder for me of who I am and why I do what I do. As Brian Stevenson spoke at General Assembly's Ware lecture, and if you've read his book or seen the movie Just Mercy, he quoted his grandmother. He said, "You can't understand the most important things from a distance. You have to get close, end quote. I get to walk around in the world and be who I am all day, every day. I get to do the freedom of the pulpit. I get that you generously give me is a blessing to me. I get to say what I think and what I feel and express my thoughts to the world. But at Pride Fest, I think about Pride Fest is a reminder to me that not everyone has that luxury. Although, of course, I know it intellectually, but when you are close to proximity of others who don't always have that power, it just rises up. At Pride Fest, our LGBTQIA siblings can be who they are in all their glory, exalted for who they are in all that they are. And that is how it should be here at our congregation as well, a place where people can feel safe to be exalted and blessed for all of who they are, not having to compromise themselves to fit in. And some might say, well, why do I have to compromise myself, right, or my position in order to make others feel welcome and safe? And I would say that first is part of being a welcoming congregation. And I would answer, if your position does not make our fellow congregants feel welcome and safe, then perhaps you should get in closer proximity to those people and build deeper relationships with them to understand why that is, right? If congregation is going to live into its vision, right, and its mission, it needs to understand that everyone is a blessing, and everyone can be a blessing. And so I will end today with a blessing I wrote for you, for each of you, and for this congregation as you move forward. May you be blessed when you wake up in the morning with the energy to do what must be done in a given day. May you be blessed when you lie down at night in the evening to be able to get the rest needed to regenerate your body, mind, and soul. May you be blessed in your ventures during the day so you can make progress on whatever it is you are called to do. May you be blessed in your vision so that what you hope for will come to pass. May you be blessed with self-awareness to better understand yourself and this entire religious community, not only for what it is, but for what it could be. May you be blessed with compassion to help each other on this religious journey, especially when understanding is limited and the future is uncertain. May you be blessed with love to see the wholeness of and beauty in each person that you encounter, including yourselves. May you be blessed with presence so that all may see and be and experience the great love that surrounds us. May you be blessed, and may you be a blessing unto others. May it be so. Please rise in body and our spirit for our closing hymn, number 128, For All That Is Our Life.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. And all that is our life, failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Our closing words are from John O'Donohue, A Blessing for Presence. May you awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. May you have joy and peace in the temple of your presence. May you receive great encouragement when new frontiers beckon. May you respond to the call of your gift and find the courage to follow its path. May the flame of anger free you from falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame, and anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. May you take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. May you be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift, woven around the heart of wonder. Please join me now in extinguishing our chalice. The words will be up on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.